Michael Kantor was the United States Trade Representative from 1993 to 1996 and the United States Secretary of Commerce in 96 and 97. The House Intelligence Committee advised all U.S. companies not to trust and do business with Huawei and ZTE. Is this trade protectionism?
Well, first of all, they didn't advise them. They can't. They have no power over U.S. companies. All they did is issue a report indicating their concerns with both Huawei and ZTE. It can be viewed as trade protectionism, but it really isn't. I don't agree with their report personally, but that was not their purpose. They had two purposes. You've got to remember this is a political year in the United States, and therefore people believe that if you criticize China, that will help you politically. I'm sorry that's the case. Number two, the other purpose, and I disagree with their conclusion, was they are trying to review the enforcement of the laws that set up the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, which was set up in order to protect U.S. security interests when foreign companies buy U.S. companies, which are considered sensitive and should be protected as companies in their technology because of the nature of it, whether military or technology or other areas. I believe the report is vastly overwritten and overstated. Interestingly enough, the report admits they have no evidence that Huawei or ZTE has done anything that would violate any law, much less any U.S. law. What they say is there is the potential that if U.S. companies or the U.S. government uses their products, that some nefarious act might be carried out in order to help Chinese intelligence.
Why the lawmakers are much concerned at a business level, and what international trade would be like if all governments adopt such a mentality toward foreign companies?
Well, all governments have security laws that protect against certain kinds of purchases of their technology. Every government. What interests me is that the U.S. government continues to focus on Huawei now. Is there competitive reasons? Are companies that compete with Huawei pressing the U.S. government to take these stands? Are they trying to convince the U.S. government that Huawei is doing something wrong? I don't like the idea that without evidence and without everyone's technology can be hacked. Everyone. The question here is, why would you do such a thing? Why would you reach this conclusion? I can only believe it is one, because of concerns about China, which I think are not well-founded in many cases. In some cases, yes. Let me tell you, I think China, like the U.S., does some things that I don't agree with. But in this case, this report is wrong. I hope that responsible officials in the U.S. government in reading this will understand that the report is not what it pretends to be, and that they will not act on this, but will act in a mature and fashion, supporting open trade.
Critics said the struggling U.S. economy and Chinese commodities continuously entry into the U.S. market, and as well as the coming U.S. presidential election are the reasons behind. What do you think about the critics?
Look, we're in a commercial competition. Commercial competition is fine between nations. It's good. It's good if it's healthy and everyone plays by the same rules. In this case, in fact, this report is wrong. Now, the U.S. government has taken no action against Huawei whatsoever.
Huawei and ZTE have to pay for the problems that the House Intelligence Committee report. It's not the first case and won't be the last of this kind. In the long run, who will pay for this kind of deeds?
Anyone, any company or any individual or any government. We are a duopoly. We are the two, by far, most powerful nations on the face of the earth. Therefore, we have a special obligation to work together. And I hope that's what comes out of this situation.
The Huawei and ZTE case caused a big repercussion in China. So some critics said it will negatively impact on Chinese investment into the United States. So how do you comment on that?
We can use investment in commercial relations to build our political and strategic relations as well. Commercial relations are a wonderful way to bring countries closer together, because both sides have something to gain and something to lose. It's a natural way to, as you say, to make that happen. But in doing that, in trying that, we've got to be open to each other and transparent, as I mentioned before, in trying to promote our own products and be accepting to the products and investment of the other nations. Look, there's a huge amount of Chinese investment in the United States. Haier, Lenovo, just to mention two very big ones. They've been very valuable, and the companies have done very well in the United States. There have been no discrimination against Chinese companies in the United States. Recently, we turned down an investment, Chinese investment, in a wind farm in Oregon, the state of Oregon. We shouldn't be doing such a thing. We're all for clean energy. We want the Chinese to build a clean energy industry as we're trying to build. It's good for everyone. I am sorry that happened.
Based on your international trade experience, what advice do you give the U.S. government, the Chinese government, the U.S. companies, as well as the Chinese companies?
Use these problems as opportunities. Opportunities to make progress, opportunities to cooperate, opportunities to sit down and understand each other's goals, aspirations. We have more in common and many things that bring us together. The Chinese people and the American people tend to think the same way in many, many ways. We need to use that as a foundation to build our relations.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kantor.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
for your
It's
time.
my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.